Motor. My name is Tommy. Today is Thursday, August 17th, 2023, here in Mason, Ohio, just outside Cincinnati, Ohio, at Kings Island. I am here to ride mostly roller coasters and a few other things. Alright, let's go. The entrance is very impressive, but also geese. I was going to make Flight of Fear my first ride, but it's not open. But an Orion is. Yeah, Mister's in line. End of the line. Row 4.
Sending you guys up.
Wow. Can't remember last time a lift hills kind of scared me. About 300 feet or so. Pretty intense airtime in a couple different parts. Flight of Fear opened up while I was riding Orion. So now I'm gonna get this one in. Indoor roller coaster.
What are you doing?
About a 15-minute wait. Row 2.
Aruba, Jamaica. Where I want to take ya.
Wow, I love that way more than I thought I would. It was surprisingly intense. I came in fairly low expectations with this ride, but there's a little bit of air. The inversions hit really well on this too. Hey, they're playing Weezer. Island in the Sun. Now Mystic Timbers. Just a 5-minute wait, middle of the train. Yeah, so far this is the best ride of the day. It's extremely intense. Just constant airtime of a wide variety. It's not very twisty at all, just very airtimey. Very floaty, ejectory. It's incredibly fast. It feels very long, but also uses every single piece of track very well. Second to last card on the train, middle row.
And out there, these sweet feet don't live. Hoorah!
Wow, I love that. I've loved everything here so much more than I thought I would. This ride is much more like intense than I thought it would be. I always heard people are long and meandering, but I didn't really feel that way. I felt quite a bit of speed on it, honestly, and I love the deep wood sensation of just very disorienting with all the helixes and the tunnels. It's a great ride. Love this thing. You got the BBLT, sriracha mayo, extra bacon, and tots. It is very tasty. They really load that bacon up on there, very thick slices. So you're always getting a mouthful. I like the sriracha mayo a lot. Just under a 10-minute wait for row 4, a wing seat. Honestly, I think I'd have to rank it better than Orion. The airtime on this was much more long, sustained. like intense floater, I would describe it. More leaning towards floatiness, but very strong. Like I was flying up and over the hills, which is, I don't know if I've quite felt airtime like that before. I think I'd only put Mystic Timbers ahead of this ride at this point. Doubled back to towards the front of the park to go on Banshee. Shouldn't be much of a wait. 5-10 minute wait. Second row from the back. Far seat. Wow, this thing is intense. Like, it's really the only positive G-filled roller coaster I've been on today. Everything's been non-stop airtime. A little bit of positive use, I should say, but very airtime heavy every single previous ride I've gone on. This ride is also very long. A little shaky, but it didn't bother me too bad. Definitely ride this again. Now for the Bat. It is a really long path to get back to this ride. Well, these paths are very interesting. Looks like it takes forever to get to the station. Absolute walk-on. Middle of the train. I thought it'd be pretty mild, but actually more intense than expected, like just about every ride here. Very, very swingy. I actually got like a little woozy on this, most woozy I've gone on anything today. It's a beautiful ride here out in the woods though. Gotta get the blue ice cream cone. It's a blueberry ice cream cone. Looks amazing. It's delicious. Blueberry is a very refreshing ice cream flavor. Very light. This coaster in front of me is in Vertigo, but it looks like it's down for the day. Not a huge loss, as I'd kind of put this roller coaster near the bottom of the list of coasters here, so oh well. This Congo River Rapids ride is also closed, but looks like it's just kind of a, you know, shoot the chutes water ride, so not a big loss there either. Oh well. The drop tower is not operating today either, so you got three rides in a row right here, all not operating today. Alright, Delirium. Very interesting looking flat ride. It is a walk-on. It's a pretty good flat ride. It's quite a big circle, so you don't really feel the spinning very much, if at all. It's just kind of there to give you a variety of sensations as you swing back and forth. So not nauseating at all. I'd still pick Extreme Swing over this for the better flat ride. But this one's still pretty good. I can see why these keep getting built. Now, I've heard that this show in the theater is supposed to be pretty good, but no shows today. Apparently it's based on an old dark ride. This is an old vehicle from that dark ride. Something to try on a future visit. Now I'm back in the front of the park and I'm going to give Grain and Grill a shot. Heard very good things. Looks pretty good. We got Spanish shrimp and pierogies. Comes with naan bread. Looks delicious. I love the pierogies. They're just like cheesy potato-y. Naan bread's very good. And the shrimp is, it's all right. Now we're doing Adventure Express. Well-themed mine train coaster. I know they just put a bunch of money into it this past year. I've heard it's supposed to be pretty well spruced up. Got a bunch of little signs. These little artifacts sitting up in the queue right here. Second to the last. Yeah, I do appreciate all the little theming touches throughout the queue and the ride itself. There's actually a good chunk of it. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Mummy, but more like jungly, like Mummy as in Universal Orlando. I do wish there was less jerky because there's, you know, just very harsh transitions, I would say, throughout the ride. I wish it was a little bit slower and had a little bit more theming show elements to it, but what's there is still fairly good. Now I'm going to do Soul Spin. I believe this ride is new for this year. It's basically like Enterprise at Valley Fair, but like a new age version. Yeah, it is definitely an improvement on the old Enterprise model. It looks very shiny and new, all brand new. Very comfortable restraints, very open feel. This whole area looks very nice. Oh, and I'd also have to pick Soul Spin over Delirium up ahead. I thought this was definitely the better flat ride, though I think I would still put Extreme Swing above both of these. So still, I love if Valley Fair got one of these. Can't be too expensive to put one in. So Miss Enterprise, and this is just a much better version of it. This whole area looks nice, like the taco place and stuff. Very nice little improvement to the park. Now I'm going to do the Racer. This ride is notable for being featured on the Brady Bunch, as they went to Kings Island in one episode. The blue side to the right is not running, but the red side to the left is. Hey, Snoopy actually has a doghouse here. Now we're going to do Boo Blasters, a little shooting dark ride. Nice and spooky in here. Already at the station, no wait. Looks like the Haunted Mansion. Yeah, it's a solid little dark ride. It's a pretty old style shooting ride. I think it's from like the 90s or maybe the 80s. Definitely used quite a bit of an update. I mean, it's hard to understand when you hit something. You would see your score go up every now and then, but it didn't always seem to have a rhyme or reason. So it's still fun kind of regardless. I mean, dark rides are always kind of fun, even in their most basic form. More food. Tacos and burritos at this place. Here's the menu. We got 3 carnitas tacos. They really load them up. It's very much a Chipotle style establishment. Looks pretty good. Yeah, these are very good tacos. These are actually my favorite thing so far. I'd say the quality just slightly below Chipotle, but that's still pretty good overall. And we also got sopapillas for our dessert. Just cinnamon, sugar, and honey on a flaky crust. Sort of like a churro, but a little crunchy and with honey. I really like the spot where we just stayed too. Got the boats out there. And the fountain, every now and then the wind kind of blows a good mist at us from this fountain. Very pleasant little area to dine. They did a great job this section of the park. They just refreshed for the year. It's the little things that count. This area is pretty sprawling, large covered area. We got a nice bar, beer, cocktails. Yeah. Now here we have Backlot Stunt Coaster. It's the last coaster I have to ride for the day. It's got a bit of a launch to it. Because the Vertigo is down for the day, then the other coasters are kiddie coasters here. And then I'll be getting some re-rides in later. Just a 10-minute wait, front to the back part of the train. Yeah, as far as being a themed coaster experience, it's definitely better than Adventure Express. Said Adventure Express was very jerky, and this had very quick transitions to it, but it actually felt smooth, unlike Adventure Express, which was jerky. I would say this also reminds me of the Mummy a lot because it is made by the same company, Premiere, but this is just a much cheaper version of it. Not nearly as fun, but still pretty good. Mummy is damn near like a perfect indoor roller coaster, and this is like, yeah, it's a pretty good attempt at an outdoor themed roller coaster. Still enjoyable. Time for my first re-ride of the day, Diamondback. Probably say this is my second favorite roller coaster in the park. Row 9 this time, just over a 5-minute wait. Riding an inner seat this time instead of a wing seat.
Enjoy your ride here on Diamondback. See ya.
I think this is my favorite hybrid coaster. I think I would take it over Raging Bull, Six Flags Great America, and Mako at SeaWorld Orlando. Well, and obviously Wild Thing at Valley Fair is better than that by a mile. I really like the big splashdown effect at the end. I just feel the airtime over these hills is very strong, very much yanks you over. You feel like quite a bit coming down off the hill too. Beautiful ride. Now I'm going to take a little train ride around the park.
You might just be able to see the Diamondback down by going up and through this one line at the time. Once you balance all in there. Come on.
Silk City is not open today, but I'd love to come back and give it a shot. Looks like a decent water park, and I love water parks. Ordinarily a train would stop here, drop people off at the water park, but it's closed today, so it's just rolling on through. Oh yeah. raining today, but maybe on a future visit. Yeah, that was a great little train ride. Not much to it, just very relaxing. I'm trying to get some re-rides in before perhaps a storm rolls in. Round 2 for Mystic Timbers. Second row from the back, just a 10-minute wait. It's just raining lightly right now, but I'm gonna stop in here for some barbecue food. Hopefully it finishes raining by the time I'm done eating. Here's the menu. We got a pulled pork sandwich with mac and cheese, a hush puppy, spicy barbecue sauce, regular barbecue sauce. This smells like the best item so far. I think this is my favorite item I've had today. Mac and cheese is very creamy. Pulled pork's very good. I'll take the spicy on the left over the regular on the right, though they aren't that distinct, and the spicy isn't really spicy at all. It just tastes a little bit better. The hush puppy's pretty good too. Gotta get another ride on Orion. The sky sure looks cloudy. The rain's been very off and on. It's been off for a little bit, and it looks like it's gonna be off for a little bit more, so hopefully I can get on before raindrops start pelting me in the face. Here I go. A total walk-on, going on row 5 this time. Yeah, that last ride is so good, I gotta do it again. This time I'm gonna try riding in the very back row. I would still stand by my ranking and saying it's third best ride in the park behind Diamondback and Mystic Timbers, but it's still really, really good. It's just so fast. Go on the back row this time. Yeah, that last ride I just had on was definitely the best ride. This thing is absolutely a back row ride. In the back row, that first drop, it just feels like it goes on for forever. Like you're waiting to hit the bottom. The way it just yanks you over the top, and you're just feeling so much air on the way down. This ride doesn't have as much airtime as Mystic Timbers or Diamondback, which is why I'd have to rank it behind them because I value airtime that highly, but the sense of speed on this thing and some of the air on this is incredibly intense still. It's a great, great ride. Okay, Banshee is very much worthy of a repeat. Definitely some raindrops coming down, but I think I'm gonna be able to dodge them. It's an absolute walk-on. Back row is the best row. Just got off that back row ride. That first drop is extremely intense in the back row. I've heard it's probably the best drop on any inverted coaster out there, and especially in the back row, and it certainly feels incredibly intense. Had a bit of a mist coming down. There still is a mist coming down. I could feel it on the lift hill, so I felt it all the way throughout the ride, just little pelts in the air. It was pretty light, so it's more refreshing than anything, but still still kind of an interesting little twist on the ride. So I've only got about an hour left of park time till it closes. And I decided I'm going to forego the Eiffel Tower here. I really wanted to do it, but you know what? I value re-rides a bit more. So it also seems like I'm getting fairly fortunate with the weather. It's been very on and off again mist at this point, so I should be able to enjoy the last hour without the weather interrupting it. I do want to say that this little plot of land here right by the Beast station is where the roller coaster Vortex used to once sit. They removed it a couple years ago, and now it's kind of the rumored plot for future expansion for Kings Island. I'd love to see them put something new in here. A lot of things you could do with this space. Time for another ride on the Beast. I love the station for this ride. Very woodsy looking. Just fitting as it's a ride deep in the woods. Absolutely no way. Middle row with the back cart. The very back of the train.
So, clear is going to take you on one lift at a time, and it has been doing that since 1939. I'll see you guys later.
I just love this ride. It's a lot more intense than I thought it would be, but it's not so intense relative to a lot of rides here. It has such a unique, secluded feel because you are in such deep wooded territory. Like, I can't get any footage of the ride from what I've shown because this park just goes way out there in deep, deep woods. It's just a very weird, surreal feeling to be out there. It's definitely an example of a setting just truly elevating a ride. I believe this structure housed the old Tomb Raider ride. It's a top spin ride housed inside of this big structure, so it's indoor flat ride. I don't know if they'll ever do anything with this. It's been sitting dormant for years now. Mystic Timbers again, or shall I say, one last time. I really love the queue setup here, how it's all kind of windy. But no one's in line. Looks like I'm walking right up to the station over there.
Come on, kitchen deep with the
Back row's the best row. This ride is just so good. It's very hard to film because it goes deep in the woods. Kind of like Beast, but not quite as much. It's much faster. So less in the woods, but much more intense, much more speed, a lot more air time. Definitely is the best ride in the park. And I love what they do in the shed with the theming at the end. It's like slightly a dark ride. It's like they kind of do a different creature on the screen at the end every time. It's a nice little touch. Very possible this is my final ride of the day, but hopefully I can get one more in after this. Going for row 14, which is the third row from the back. It's the farthest back available wing seat I can get at the moment. Beautiful ride, great ride to end on, but I think I got one more in me. It's currently about 7:50. Park closes in 10 minutes, and I'm hurrying up in front of me to Orion to get my final ride on there. It is 7:55. Looks like I'm just gonna make it. Fourth ride on Orion for my final ride of the day. Beautiful. Yep, definitely another walk-on. I was gonna ride in the front row this time, but you can tell there's 4 people in there, so it's gonna be 4 people in the front row, then me in the back row. Yeah, back row to myself. I'm gonna sit on the left side this time. You know what? I think this is my favorite ride here now. After this fourth ride, I think I gotta bump it up. It feels like it's gotten better and better every time. The biggest factors to consider for me is that drop is the best drop in the entire park, especially in that back row. That floater airtime hill right there in the center. Probably the best floater airtime hill here. And I would even say the speed ejector hill is like the best one here. So it's got quality over quantity. Despite being the biggest, tallest, fastest ride here, it feels like the elements are much more spread out because they do take up much more space and more track. Where something like Mystic Timbers feels like it's just a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 constantly. Even though it's a much shorter, smaller ride. I think I gotta take less elements but higher quality elements on this. The more I think about it, the more I've ridden it. I also want to point out as I exit the park that right there is Windseeker, which was never open all day today. They have the same ride at Cedar Point, so hopefully I'll get to ride it there. Never got to try Skyline Chili today, but I probably will the Cincinnati Reds game I'm going to tomorrow night, so no big deal. I really like the little lights they got set up on the trees here. I'd love to see the park at night, but it closes at 8 p.m. tonight. It's always very hard to get good nighttime in at a lot of amusement parks, especially in the summer. I know this park in particular is known for having very, very good night rides like Orion, Beast, Mystic Timbers, and Diamondback. So that is something I would very heavily prioritize on a future trip. Wow, I thought I'd be very impressed, and I very, very much was, even more than I could have imagined. This is a truly amazing park, especially this front entrance area. Really sets the tone about your whole day. Definitely got a very international vibe with, you know, these storefronts kind of representing different countries. Orion moves to the top of my list of coasters here. Oh, so Orion number 1, Mystic Timbers number 2, Diamondback number 3, Beast number 4, then Banshee number 5. After that, I kind of don't want to rank them, but I do want to say Racer was last. So yeah, because Racer definitely, I don't know, it's a little too slow and meandering. It's a very old roller coaster. I'd love to see them kind of, I don't know if you can retrack it or do something, put a little speed into it, or I guess it can remain how it is. I mean, you do need a variety in your lineup, but it definitely was a little more underwhelming compared to other rides today. I was also impressed with Backlot Stunt Coaster. That thing was very smooth. That coaster was a bit better than I was expecting. It's a very short coaster, and the theming elements are not nearly as good as Universal or Disney for that matter, but still a very good ride. Still enjoyed it a lot. Just to let you know, when even Premier does a ride that doesn't quite have the budget, it's still a pretty good ride. So, all right, I'll be at Cedar Point in a few days. It's been a great trip so far, and this is only day 2. All right, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.